I'm going to break down exactly my philosophy for getting in the shape, which I'm going to put a few pictures up now of the shape I get into, right? Okay, I'm going to share my philosophy of how I do this, and it doesn't involve following workout plans, diet plans. Okay, I'm going to give you the actual formula to do it yourself, okay, and how to do it long term without these 8-week, 12-week plans. Okay, yes, these are good for like short-term motivation. You'll get in the shape, then you'll lose the shape. Okay, now I'm not going to over edit this video because I can't be asked editing it, if I'm honest with you. Okay, this information is going to be totally gold. Okay, so stick it on a podcast or something, listen to it, because believe me, you're probably looking at me and thinking, well, you don't really look that great, if I'm honest with you. There's a lot of people on the internet that look way better than you. Okay, well, I'm natural. Okay, I've never took anything illegal in my life. So in a nutshell, make your own mind up. You can compare me to these big roidinoids on the internet and you can take their advice. Okay, they've injected themselves with loads of shit. Or you can sit here and listen to a natural who's been training since 2009, over 15, 16 years, and just tell you the reality of how to get in shape. Okay, so in a nutshell, here's how I have personally got in shape. Okay, right. I have been slightly overweight in the past, right? Okay, probably about over 2 stone. Needed to lose about 3 stone. Okay, I've not been crazy obese or anything. So usually, for me to get in great shape, okay, it generally involves maybe building a little bit of muscle, tiny bit of muscle. We're not talking huge roidinoid, but for the majority of people, it's going to come down to losing body fat. So when you see these photographs of me where I'm in fantastic shape, okay, believe me, it's the difference between about five pound to 10 pound of body fat, just £5, okay, that makes me look absolutely shredded and in like elite shape. If I just put £5 back on, I just look like a normal person, okay, who's just, in a t-shirt who doesn't work out. Okay, this is the fine line between looking aesthetic and having your ripped abs and just looking kind of like normal, being honest with you. Okay, so the body fat is the major issue, and I'm assuming for a lot of people getting that last bit of body fat is the issue. So you can probably get pretty big, which is getting big's pretty easy. Okay, you go and lift weight, you put body fat on, it pads your shirts out. It's very easy to look good and big in a shirt because it's really, a lot of it is just really fat. And people underestimate how much fat actually pads out your t-shirt. Okay, so in a nutshell, here's my philosophy. Okay, it doesn't involve somebody giving me a workout plan and going, okay, you're going to work your chest today and then you're going to do 5 sets of 12 and you're going to leave it at that, and you're going to go on to this, you're going to do this and that. Okay, here's how I do it, because that doesn't work, because you're following a plan which isn't designed for your body. Okay, so have you ever followed a plan, okay, and when you're in the gym, you finish the plan, you're like, you know what, I am itching to do this exercise now. Like, my body internally is telling me I need to work my back, example, but it's not on your plan. But your internal body's like, I need to do some back exercises, and you're like, well, it's not in the plan, so I can't do it. Okay, what you really need to do is you need to get in tune with your own body. Okay, now how I train for building muscle is, I've got an arsenal of compound exercises. Okay, you do not need to change your exercises all over, add a million exercises. Okay, so for me, legs would be squats, walking lunges, maybe the leg extensions. That's really about it. Okay, you've obviously got all of the variations of that. So you've got the squats with the barbell, the dumbbells, you've got the walking lunges with barbells, dumbbells, you can do the front squats. Okay, so within just those 2 exercises, you've got so many variations, and it's really only the variations, the reps and the weight you really need to change. You don't need to add a whole new exercise in the majority of the time. Okay, think about your chest, okay? You got a barbell, dumbbell, you got flies. Now, apart from those, do you really need to do much else? Some press ups? No, you don't. It's the basics, okay? You don't need to add something else in to shock your muscles, okay? So what I'm saying is pick the exercises which have the most bang for the buck for that body part. Pull-ups, finger, yeah. Compound exercises where you can lift a lot of weight, okay? Those are like your bread and butter. And the only thing you really need to do is decide. So a lot of people will get given a plan of all the exercises, and it just becomes too much. It's not fun anymore, okay? The only thing I decide, when I decide, right, Paul, I want to take this now to the next level. So I'm looking standard now, but I want to build a little bit of muscle and I want to drop a bit of fat. You need to up your game a little bit. This isn't about having a plan. What it's about is just deciding, you know what, I'm going to turn up to the gym and I'm going to work my body and muscles until I feel I've had enough. I'm going to let my body guide me through which exercises to do. Like I like to do a lot of full body workouts, okay? So I'll do legs, then move on to chest and back, and I'll rotate. But within this, I'm allowing my brain and my body to say, okay, Paul, I'm allowing it to tell me which exercises, which reps, basically any rep range from 6 to 35 is going to build muscle, providing you go on an RPE of you know, how perceived, how much are you pushing yourself, 1 to 10, 8, 7, 8, 9. It doesn't always have to be 10. 10's going to burn you out, okay? So as long as you're in an RPE of like 8, 9, 7 or something, and then you're building it up, it doesn't matter the rep range, doesn't matter the exercises. Obviously your form needs to be perfect, but the only thing you need to be doing is listening to your body, okay? And literally turning up, stimulating the muscle, feeling good, and literally until you feel like there's a switch in your brain where you've just had enough, okay? Like, yeah, I feel like I'm juiced out now. Do not push yourself past that moment because you're going to burn out, okay? Recovery is just as important as the actual weight training, okay? So you don't want to burn out. Do not get sucked in to these YouTube videos where it's been cut and edited so it looks like the guy is having a crazy workout, he's doing his reps, and it cuts to him doing his exercise. On the video, it looks really intense and great, okay? That is not the reality of getting a great body in great shape, okay? It's about taking the adequate rest, not going, you know, crazy with the reps, not going till failure of your set, you burn out, okay? It's more of a long-term, medium approach in terms of like your weight and how intense you push yourself, okay? Stick to compound, do the variations, do all of the rep ranges, you know, pick a weight which is adequate for 8 reps, 12 reps, that stuff. Go close to failure, mix it up, okay? In terms of your rest period, sometimes rest a long time so you can lift a lot of weight, sometimes rest short, sometimes rest in between. Mix it up. But what I would say is listen to your body. I'm a personal trainer. Don't allow people to dictate based on your body exactly what you should be doing, okay? Learn the fundamentals. I mean, these fundamentals are going to be 95% of your results, okay? If you just turn up to the gym for an hour to 90 minutes, a session, whatever time frame you've got, okay? And you just do reps, take a rest, do reps, you're going to build muscle. It's going to be taken care of, okay? Providing as well that your diet's in place, which we're going to come on to, okay? So in terms of your workouts, yeah, also the duration of your workouts is going to depend how many times a week you get in. Now, as a natural, you don't need to get in that much, okay? I've actually found that training less is more, okay? You can actually continuously break down your muscle as a natural. You don't have, and as you're getting older as well, I'm nearly 40, you need to take adequate rest. You're going to find you look better sometimes the less you do. Less is more, okay? Now, I'm going to come on to the diet now. So in terms of the diet, don't allow someone to tell you exactly what to eat and what times, because it doesn't really matter, okay? Ultimately, fat loss comes down to your energy in, energy out, okay? So for me to look fantastic and ripped, I need to drop body fat, okay? This involves a calorie deficit, lower your calories. Now within my diet, I generally try to go like 80% clean, nutritious. Come on, we all know what that is. You don't need me to spoon feed you oats, oats, chicken, broccoli, all of that stuff, okay? We all know what whole foods are, nuts. Basically, it's foods that are just standalone. So you look on the ingredients, it just says nuts. Avocados, just says avocados, bananas. These are foods which are whole, natural. Excuse me. We are not looking to overcomplicate it. Yes, you can also have your chocolate and stuff like that. As long as it fits into calories and overall you've got a healthy diet, it's not an issue. You're going to get shredded and ripped, so long as you're training, you're turning up, and so long as you're in a calorie deficit, and as long as your protein is, let's just say, 1 gram per pound of body weight. It is actually quite a lot less than that, but to explain it to you now, doing all the maths, just stick to 1 pound per pound of body weight, unless you are like 300 pounds or 400 pounds. Naturally, you don't need that much because you're going to be overeating on your calories, okay? So the diet is pretty much straightforward. Find your calorie deficit, aim to be about 500, 1000's quite steep, you're going to probably lose muscle. About 500 calorie deficit per day, that's 1 pound of body fat per week, okay? And those two combined, long term, yeah, turning up to the gym, lifting weights, diet, you can do running for cardio, steps for cardio. It is kind of that simple, okay? Now, the reason it is so difficult to get ripped is because your body doesn't want to be past a certain body fat. Basically, it's a homeostasis where we all have a predisposed body fat which our body likes to be at, okay? So for some people it might be 15% body fat, 16, which is actually quite normal actually. That's actually a normal body fat. But there's some people who can naturally be a lot leaner. That's just the way their genetics is. Their body is predisposed to lower body fat based on the baseline, okay? Some people hold more body fat naturally. Once you go below this, try to go below this predisposed marker in your body, you've got to really fight against the grain, and that's why it becomes so difficult to get ripped, okay, as a natural, because you're really fighting against, basically your body does not want to go that lean. And that is why a lot of the time people can get lean, like in my photographs that I've shown you. Very rarely you will stay there, because there's a lots of times when I've got shredded and I'm like, yes, this is great, I'm going to stay lean. You know what, I'm going to stay here because it feels so good. And then something happens in your life or whatever, and that's not making an excuse, but it's almost like your body makes an excuse to come out of that leanness, okay? More than likely, it's going to happen anyway. But what happens is, you'll simply find before you know it, you no longer got a six-pack and you're like, what's happened? Your body has taken you out of that leanness. You know why? Because it is not sustainable, okay? To get the photographs to look back on or for your social media, yes, get shredded, super lean, but staying there is another story, okay? That's not to say that we can't walk around with great looking physiques and look great in our t-shirts and that, but probably the as a natural, the shredded you're looking for and the abs popping, that can be for the unnaturals, and it can be basically for short-term stays, depending on the time of the year. You know, winter, it's not going to happen. Natural, it's not going to happen, okay? But in a nutshell, that is basically how I do it. I don't follow plans. I listen to my own body. When I wake up and I really can't lift weights today, it's not that I'm being lazy. I'm not being lazy. My brain is telling me to rest. I'm listening to my brain. Don't listen to these trainers who are saying, right, get up and go to the gym, and no, you push through it. No, you get injured, okay? There's a difference between being lazy and listening to your body, okay? You know deep down whether you're thinking, when you really think about it, am I using this as an excuse, or am I really taking a rest because my body's like fucked? And a lot of the time you're like, fuck no, I can't work that muscle. I'm going to do more damage than good. Let it rest, okay? But you know deep down whether you're being lazy and you're showing up or not. My advice is the only thing you need to do is show up to get in shape and listen and stick to the core principles, okay?